I want to go back to your relationship with Bernie. I mean, how did it feel when he passed away? Were you close to him when you reached that certain type of fame?
Bernie, I saw Bernie 3 months before he had passed. We was in his barbershop. We went to the same barbershop on the south side. And I was up in the barbershop, and he used to come in there and get his shoes shined. There was a shoe shine dude up in there, and Bernie came in there. And Bernie was a monster, though. Like, back in the day, Bernie used to, there's this place called the Cotton Club. And the only way that you could perform on Bernie's stage was if you followed him. He used to be like, the only way you can go on here is if you follow me. And whoever walked in the door, Bernie would light their ass on fire. Like, if he was on stage and you walked through that door, it was another 10 minutes that he was gonna do, lighting your ass on fire. People running, falling out, brand new outfits all on the ground, laughing, people spilling shit on him. And Bernie would be like, he wouldn't even give you credits. After people dying and shit, Bernie would be like, Deon Cole. And that's how he'd bring you to the stage, and you had to go up and go, all right, y'all, man, that was crazy, wasn't it? Man, Bernie, boy, I used to do like 5 minutes on what Bernie just said, because that was the only way I can get in. I'd be like, did you hear what Bernie said when he was talking about that dude? Because that's right, because that dude did do that. Yeah, Bernie, boy, one more time for Bernie. Like, I used to always do that, because that was the only way you could follow him. But if you follow him, he respects you after that. Then he had this club called Millionaires. I don't know if a lot of people know, but he had a show on HBO called At Midnight, Mac at Midnight. And he had these dances, but he actually had a nightclub where you would perform at, and he used to have like Phyllis Hyman in there and all of us. And right, God bless Phyllis Hyman, she was about to take me on tour 2 weeks before she passed. Bernie Mac introduced us, and we got into a argument, not even an argument, like Phyllis Hyman used to talk about motherfuckers. Like, she was so funny. She would light your ass on fire. She'll get drunk, come up there, grab the mic, and be like, nigga, look at your old fat ass. Like, she'll just go in, and so you'll go in on her. She'll go in and then give a fuck, and he used to make just beautiful television. And that's how Bernie, well, that wasn't the reason why Bernie had his show, but it'd be these moments that he'll have all kind of celebrities that come down there and everything. Bernie used to do that for you. But Bernie wouldn't give you nothing because nobody never gave Bernie nothing. So Bernie wasn't, he had tough love like that. But like I said, right before he died, he came in the barbershop and he came up to me and he was like, I see you. He was like, I see you doing your thing. He was like, I see you. He was like, y'all out there really getting it, you know? And he was like, and I appreciate y'all. He was like, man, I'm about to start a production company. And he was like, we gonna bring it home. He was like, see, I ain't have to go to LA. LA came to me. He was like, y'all out in LA. He was like, but do what you got to do. He was like, but we gonna do this, we gonna do that. And I was like, man, I can't wait, let's do it. And like 3 months later, I heard he passed, and I just could not believe that shit. That shit was like, wow, like crazy. And I remember he gave me like $50 too, not like $60. He gave me $60 and told me to get a real haircut. I was in the barbershop, he saw my hair after that. It was like, here, get a real barber. I was like, and my barber was looking at him. I'm like, let me see that mirror though. Let me check this out, see what you fuck is you doing to me? Like, but yeah, Bernie, but man, yeah, when he passed, man, that lit the city up, man. That was something that you know, we all keep him in our hearts, definitely. It's something that the younger generation needs to know too. They need to always keep him in mind that without him, none of this would be happening, you know.
You said you guys had an argument though, right?
Who, me and Bernie?
Yeah.
No, we was just arguing over new school, old school. I was just like, man, why don't you put some, I said, man, you just did Ocean's 11. Why don't you put a motherfucker in the movie, man? He was like this, anybody did nothing for me. I took a bus all the way from LA, all the way to Chicago to LA to perform for the Spinners. He was like, what y'all doing? Y'all on tour? Y'all got jackets? He was like, when you had jackets, like he always, he'd be like, y'all got jackets. He used to be like, yo, man, but y'all paid away for that. He'd be like, nah, fuck that. He was like, no, you get it on your own. So we started just like argue but jokingly about, old school, new school.
What would you say the difference between old school and new school would be?
Right now,
Yeah.
old school right now, a lot of people look at me like that. I'm cool with that. They be like, yo, you're a veteran, yo, and all that. That's cool. Then we did it for the love, and it was the originality of it, how original you were, and just being a different person and just coming up with new material that was cool. And what we did was, when people came and saw us, they came to escape. They came to escape, and it was like a movie. Like you go to movies, you go to escape and get into the world of that movie. That's how it was for stand-up back then. You'll come see these great comedians and get into their worlds. Now, comedians give the audience what they want, and that waters down the audience and what they expect and how they are. And when you do that, then it goes against, they look at you like what you're supposed to be doing. They're like, he's funny, but why he ain't drop on the floor? The last comic I saw, he fell on the floor. Like, why you ain't falling on the floor? And it's like, nah, motherfucker, I ain't got to fall on the floor. I ain't no throw a pie in your face ass fucking comic like that. I'm like, so it kind of like makes the audience, and I ain't saying all new comics, I ain't saying that all, but some make the audience, they give the audience what they want, and instead of just being who you are. And a lot of people eating and a lot of people working right now that shouldn't be, because what they're doing is they just remixing other people's stuff and taking ideas and bits and pieces of other people's jokes, and they going out giving the audience what they want, and they don't know the difference. So I just think it's a respect level. I think they really don't respect. And they think it's easy because they see people making money now. They think that they can just go out and make money like that. But, it take you about 15 minutes, 15 years to be an overnight success. You're just not going just up and just all of a sudden, bam, I got a hot new 10 minutes, then I'm cool, But that's how it is now. You got Vine stars and YouTube stars, and these people have millions and millions of viewers, and they're getting money. But then you put me on the show with them, they want me to go last, and I'm getting probably a third of what they getting, because they have 1 million viewers. It's like, well, I'm a comic, and much respect due to what they do, but we're in two different worlds. And I just think that I respect them for what they do, and they should respect me for what I do. And so I think that's all it is right now. It's just a level of respect that everyone doesn't have for each other.
I feel like, because I was just talking about this the other day, I was just in the mood to go to a comedy show, and I think the last one I've been to was Kevin Hart's, and that was like a few years ago. It was pretty good, but it's now that, I search online for tickets for other like venues to go to for these shows, it's non-existent anymore. Yeah. You think it's dying, like stand-up is dying in a way?
Well, it's so many comedians. I don't think stand-up's dying, but you also have to look at society as a whole as well. So now everything's so watered down. And I was just in New York, and I was in the elevator with Damon Wayans, and God bless him, he an icon in the game or whatever. And we was on the elevator, and it hurt me to see how sad he was in a sense, because he told me he retired. Told me he retired from stand-up, and I was like, that hurt me, and I was like, oh, why? And he was like, because of the backlash of the whole Bill Cosby thing. He was just saying that he caught a lot of flack on that because he was doing stand-up on the radio show, on the Breakfast Club, and they played that, and people didn't take it as a joke. They took it as, as he was actually doing something, but he was doing stand-up, and he got ridiculed for that so bad, and to the point where he was just like, I quit. And I was just like, dang. He was like, people so sensitive right now. I was like, everybody's so sensitive that you can't have the freedom of speech that you want. And he was like, somebody just asked him recently about that plane that crashed recently.
Yeah. The EgyptAir?
Yeah, the EgyptAir plane that crashed, and he was like, I'm an American. I no longer have an opinion. And he was like, and that's what his answer is to everything now. He was like, somebody asked him something, he like, I'm an American, I don't have an opinion. And that was some deep shit to me because it's getting there. You can no longer have an opinion on anything. If I dislike anything that the world's telling me to, then I'm gonna have a problem. I have to agree with what everyone else is saying in order for me not to be ridiculed. And that takes away freedom of speech. And that's like really fucked up. And that's where I think stand-up is going now. It's like, and it's the last form of raw expression. You see it in music, you see it in TV, in movies. Everything is changed up, and comedy is like the last form of raw expression. I just wish people just let us be, but it's just becoming watered down now. And so therefore people aren't coming out the way that they used to because, you know, they get it. And also, it also has to do with comics too. A lot of comics aren't writing, and they're doing the same material year after year after year. And don't get me wrong, you're gonna do your same material, but you need to be swapping out. It'll take you about 2 years to get to a whole new set or whatever, but then you have material that other people haven't heard yet, so you want them to hear that too, so it's a fine line between that. So you just need to mix your old with new. Every time you see me, you're gonna see old with new. I'm gonna give you some classics, I'm gonna give you some new stuff. Like every time, man. A lot of comics don't do that. They just do the same routine they've been doing, so people don't want to come see them. But I just had a conversation with some clubs, and they told me, they was like, ain't nobody really selling tickets like that right now because people ain't really coming to check for them. And the younger generation, I don't think they really respect comedy like that in a sense. They like who they like. If you're controversial, but they ain't just like up and just coming out like it used to be, you know? But
I feel like today's comedy is like memes, like you little gifs and stuff like that online. I feel like that's like the newer version.
It is. You can go online. You can go crack up. You can go World Star. You can Vlad. You can go ahead and just listen to people's stories and crack up. I've watched this several times and got plenty laughs. But yeah, and then you start liking certain people, whatever. But comedy was before all this internet. That was people went to go laugh. But now you can laugh at anything online and everything. Plus, the audience they're a little smarter though. They are a little smarter, you know. But I think it's watered down. It's becoming gimmicky a little bit.
But don't you feel like? I feel like people go to comedy shows to get away from their pain. And it's like the same thing when comedians go up and share their story, their life struggles for other people to laugh at it. That's just what it's all about. Yeah, they talk about race, they talk about events, tragedy, you know?
Yeah, and we bring a lighter view to whatever's going on, you know, and that's what we do. We bring a lighter view to it. And people come to see that, you know, and that's great. But if I can't go talk about Caitlyn Jenner the way that I feel about her because I'm worried about what you're going to think and what's going to be posted, then you're not getting the real me. So why even go down that path, you know? And if I do go down that path, it's sugar-coated or whatever. So, I mean, it just all depends, man. It all depends on your audience. And I have a great audience, a great group of follower people from all over the country. When I do a show, they know to come out. They know they're about to get some originality. They know they're about to it's going to be unorthodox. You know, it's just going to be all over the place, you know, and it's going to give you something refreshing because you come see me, you coming to see a comic. You're not coming to get what you want. I'm gonna give you something totally different than what you get. You know what I'm saying? And I think all comedians should be that way. You know, Jerry Seinfeld, totally different. Chris Rock, totally, like all these different perspectives, you know. But then you have just comedians that's comedians, and everybody's talking about the same thing. And, you know, they say great minds think alike, but when it comes to comedy, great minds think differently. You know?